Up, it's Ray V. Let's get it.
Sad boy.
Sad boy quote of the day.
F ain't for Fields, it's for fantasy. So let's get into our deepest fantasies, baby.
I'll give you a third for him, though. We are going to continue into the second round with my rookie draft from yesterday. Please just tell me that you enjoy the commentary. I like these vids more than the scripted ones, if we're being so for real. Since I went through most of the teams already, this should be quicker, less yappy, only the second round, so hopefully we don't got to talk about these guys too much. Reminder, this league is a 2 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, 3 flex, and 1 IDP league with 15 bench spots, 3 IR, 4 taxi spots. We're going to get into our second round. As you can see, spoiler alert for yourselves, you can see that our second round is already finished. So let's get right into it. I guess I could just say their name. You guys can read them anyway. So Jess right here, he stuck and he pucked, stick and pick right here. Took Ty Simpson, 201. We checked out his QBs last time. Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, Tyler Shuck, Jalen Hurts, Stroud. So he's just hoarding. He's hoarding that QB value. If it works, it works. In his case here, I would definitely try to trade one of these guys, like I was saying yesterday. Personally, I'd keep Cam Ward, Jaden Daniels. I'd even move off of Hurts at this point. He probably has the most value. Maybe Jaden Daniels has the most value because he's the youngest and everything, and he's already good. Even though he's kind of sucked last year, so his value might have took a little dip. But Jalen Hurts thrives off the tush push. Those rushing touchdowns definitely boost him up. QB8 overall last year, so that mid-range QB1 is definitely because of that rushing. The tush pushes definitely get him a little higher. He's probably one of the most valuable guys he could trade, and it doesn't really hurt his team because he could just start Cam Ward, Jaden Daniels. If any of these guys start off slow, he still has Shuck in the back, still has Stroud, and obviously Ty Simpson sitting on his taxi squad probably. That's what I would do in this case. Took Ty Simpson, most valuable on the board, and made the most sense to take right there. Right here at the 2-2, 2-4, 4-2. So right here, I took Jonah Coleman. I was actually trying to trade back again, just to see, because I got this 4 pick right here at the 2 picks later, and I was thinking like, hey, maybe I could get Hecka Cute and just leave Jonah Coleman on the board and take him right here. Don't need 2 running backs. But it would be helpful, and I do believe in Jonah Coleman. Do have RJ Harvey, so I'm kind of hedging, but not really. They both could thrive. They both could be good in the same backfield and everything. This guy right here started to try to trade me, and then this guy right here tried to trade me too, Mondo. So Jesh and Mondo, he was saying that he would give up Travis Kelce and stuff for a second round pick right here, and this pick was traded from right here, number 1 GOAT. So he was also right here, so he was in between my 2 picks. So when Jesh over here sent me a trade, I double checked his roster, and I was on pretty sure J.K. Hovland. So, sorry, J.K. Pretty sure he has him. He did have him, and then I looked at his running back core, and I was like, ooh, dang, he probably would take Jonah Coleman right here. Maybe he wanted Stowers, I don't know, because he has Evan Ingram, Kyle Pitts, and Njoku. Maybe he wanted Stowers right there. I'm not sure. But I was scared that he would take Coleman, especially having J.K. Dobbins and the running back room that he has. So I was like, decline that trade. And then, I was looking at this guy's roster, number 1 GOAT. He had his running backs, but this is, this guy, I know this guy likes to play the value game. So I was like, Stowers or Jonah Coleman is definitely going to be his pick. And, if I trade out of here and these 2 guys pick both Jonah Coleman, both Stowers, and then, I still took Nick Singleton right here, but I would have loved to take Jonah Coleman right here. So because of all that thinking, all that looking at everyone's roster, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a Jonah Coleman. This pick, Mondo had the 407, and he gave up a 2027 second for that 203 from number 1 GOAT. So number 1 GOAT was holding it, so that's why he's the 407 now. And he also took Mondo's 2027 second. That's a good trade there. Good trade back. The depth of the 2027 class is a lot stronger. Should be a lot better. Should not be as dart throwy as it is right now. We could believe as much as we want. We could do all the pros we can. 50% hit rate first round. I don't remember what the second round is. Probably like a 20%. Maybe even dwindles down to 10. Maybe shoot. Stuff like that. It dwindles down, so it's not always the best to hold there and have that hopium and your rookie guys. You're just pushing them up to push them up. So that was a good trade back right there. Even though Stowers, I think I would have took him 109. I had him at the 109 before, but he does have. I was looking at yesterday. Trey McBride. He has Hunter Henry, Sanat. Sucks for Sanat though. Jacob Conquo over there, but he didn't need to take Stowers here. Got 2-3. That was a good trade. Mondo as Travis Kelce right here. So, like I was saying in one of those videos, Stowers, Kenyon Sadiq, really good for teams that have Travis Kelce. Allegedly, he's on a 3-year contract extension. So it should line up cleanly with a year 2, year 3 breakout for tight ends. That's usually what it is anyway. So it does really line up nicely with him. My pick 2-4, I was just like, I'm just gonna take Nick Singleton. I'm not gonna try to do some trades or anything all crazy because I'm at 2-4 right here, and my next picks are 4s. So 4-2, 4-4, 4-5, 4-10. So I was like, I'm just going to take my guy. It's fine. I was showing my team yesterday. I got some good receivers. That's why I skipped receiver right there, because even if I had a hit on my receivers, like in my rankings, Antonio Williams, Chris Bell, can't play them. They're not as easy to trade. I feel like running backs are easier to trade sometimes. This league, I feel like it's tougher to trade running backs in our league. I don't know. We value them pretty highly. Don't really get moved they're definitely inflated. They got that home league inflation on it. Like I was saying yesterday, this guy was offered his 102 back, or his own first back, which he could have controlled to the 101 for McCaffrey. I think he gave him another first, maybe gave him a second too as well, and he said no. He wanted McCaffrey. So, that home league pump in running backs and QBs right here in your fandom. I took 2 running backs here just because, I already got good receivers. Definitely always need help in the running back department. Right here, 205, this guy, he was on the clock for 15 hours, I think. I think he forgot that he was on the clock, or, he probably got off work, fell asleep. He has a different schedule than most of us. Yeah, he took Sonny Styles, and I was like, dude, did you mess this up? I know we have IDP, but, that's tough. But he said he did not mess up. He chose him on purpose. We shouldn't really be taking IDPs in our drafts right here because we only play one. But Sonny Styles could be a good IDP. Frankie Louvu was over here getting hella tackles. Bobby Wagner was over here getting hella tackles on Washington defense. Maybe. The Browns linebacker from last year, he was a top 10 linebacker or top 10 defensive player. He was a rookie. He was getting a lot of tackles, so maybe this works out in his favor. He does have 10 draft picks like we were saying already. Your team, man. Yeah, I personally definitely would not have ever taken Sonny Styles right there. Chris Bell right there for me. Antonio Williams, probably Antonio Williams first, then Chris Bell. What I would have done. He has his pick, 2-6, 4-6. He only got 2 picks, so he took Chris Bell. We were having a little convo about it. I was just saying I had Antonio Williams over Chris Bell, but if Antonio Williams and Chris Bell both play mid, Antonio Williams winning out, ceiling, Chris Bell, Antonio Williams, Chris Bell. He could be the wide receiver 1 for his team. He could really do that thing, be the guy there. All the stuff I said before, previous videos. Antonio Williams definitely is just like a wide receiver 2. He's going to be, or for now at least, he's going to be behind Terry McLaurin, maybe Ayuk if Ayuk gets there. But sometimes you just want your production. Wide receiver 2s, they just know their role. They're not divas about it. And they just thrive. They thrive, and then they last longer because, if they go to a different team, they know they're a wide receiver 2. Everyone knows they're a wide receiver 2. It's easier to get a wide receiver 2 to another team like that. Wide receiver 1, this guy hits. He goes to another team. Gonna be a diva about it. Franchise tag, George Pickens type stuff. Is that always the best? Could be the better guy, though. Remember yesterday I was saying that I thought he was going to fall to 2-9, and I thought this guy was going to take him. Number 1 GOAT. And we were talking about it, chopping it up in the group chat, and he said he was definitely wanting to take him, or he was at least looking at him. I almost made that call. It would have been an elite call. Matty Ice back on the clock. 7 right here. He took Mike Washington. Gets the backup Genty. I believe he has Genty on his team. Yes, he does have Genty, so, get the handcuff to him, the presumed handcuff. I did like Mike Washington pre-draft. Sucks that he landed with the Raiders, but maybe they want to punch him. Maybe you could play them both weekly. The Raiders offense should definitely, be on the up and up as well for sure. Better line, better receivers. Actually, not better receivers, but better quarterback play. And then now he gets a competent second running back in there. So, hey, that could be good. That was a good pick by him. It made sense for his team and everything. Definitely, probably would have took Antonio Williams. If that was me in that spot. Michael Wilson, McMillan, Shepard, Judy, Devon Smith. So, I was talking about how he needs running backs. Maybe skip Mike Washington there and take Antonio Williams. Start taking running back darts on your next rounds or something. He did take Evan Johnson right here. I feel like he could have held off on that one. Maybe Katron Allen fell back to him. Maybe not. Or he wouldn't have because he got taken right here. But, feel like the receiver would have helped him probably a lot more, but get your guy. He got some backup Genty. What if Genty goes down? All right, so we're going to the 208. Antonio Williams was picked right here, but this was Matty Ice picks. He had a back-to-back. He had the 208, and he traded back to the 303. So he got the 303 now, and he got the 2028 third from Jesh. So that's what happened. Jesh jumped up into the 208, traded back, was at 5 picks to the 303, and received an extra third in the 2028 draft. And he took Antonio Williams right here, and he was saying right when he seen Chris Bell go, he knew he had to jump up into the next couple picks just to take Antonio Williams because he was waiting for him to fall right here. But right when Chris Bell went, he's like, nah, I gotta take my receiver. Hopped right up in there and took it. So that's pretty good. That's good on him. Got his guy. Definitely needed. Did he need receiver help? Yeah, he needed receiver help. Definitely. Looks like he could have used the Jalen Waddle here. Oof. That's a big yikes. Troy Franklin, Tez Johnson, Egbuka leading the charge. Jordan Addison should be good this year. Allegedly, Christian Watson is going to take a bigger role on this year. They shrunk their wide receiver core down. That's it. Troy Franklin was doing well in bits and pieces last year, so could have been good. But Antonio Williams definitely adds him. He gets a stack, and Jaden Daniels, Antonio Williams. That's cool. Don't love stacking. Don't really see everything. I don't hype it up too much. It's they're gonna score points either way. It's all good. Stacking makes sense more in like a best ball type of format and all those draft lineup contests and stuff. Not really in regular fantasy. Not really in dynasty. It works. People will say it worked and it worked because of this and then confirmation bias, in my opinion. So now we are on to the 209. Number one go right here. I believe he was trying to trade down or trade back, but he just stuck. He stayed right here, 209, and he took his guy, Deshaun Stribling, Niners. He's a Raider fan, but hey, maybe you got to pick a Niner guy and trade him to another Niner guy. It tends to happen in our leagues, in this home league of mine. Happens a lot. This guy traded for Pearsall, and then I took Pearsall from him. We're all Niner guys here. He got it from this guy, JT, right here, because JT is not a Niner guy. So, you gotta play. You play to the strengths of, play to your strengths, attack, or play to your opponent's weaknesses. Play to your league mates' weaknesses. They got a soft spot for Niner players. They got a soft spot for Seattle. Got a soft spot for Raider players. Play to their fandom. That's fine. This is Dynasty. We keep these guys forever, in theory. So, I do think Stribling's a good pick. It sucks because he's developmental, so he's not going to be able to just do something right off the bat. It sucks for him in theory. No, probably not going to be able to use him this year. He's still developing. But Shanahan, I saw, John Lynch, they definitely were talking about how they like him because he could become a wide receiver one for the team one day. They like his traits and just want to develop him more, blah, blah, blah. He is an old guy. I think he's like 23 or 24. And he still has to develop the rest of his game to be a true wide receiver one for the Niners, for his own team. But, hey, they had faith in him. 33rd pick overall. They were going to take him in the first, essentially. So sometimes you got to push it up, even though it's a bad landing spot. Omar Cooper Jr., Stribling, Mekhi Lemon. He's still, Mekhi Lemon fell behind Casey Concepcion, I wouldn't be too angry, even though he also had a bad landing spot. But, it's stacked in front of him. But I wouldn't do that personally. But, I would not do that personally. If it happened, I can understand it. If Denzel Boston went before Mekhi Lemon, do not understand it. So that's the big difference there. Good pick. Feel like he could have traded back. I don't think he needed wide receivers really. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Godwin, Metcalf, Sutton still, AJ Brown. So didn't need to take a receiver there. He could have took a running back, but he also has 5 good running backs, right? He's one of these two guys. 5 good running backs. Dribbling or Katron Allen is really what I would have had right here. And then probably, obviously, the reverse for the other, when it gets to the 210. So 210, I got Jason right here. Jason took my pick when we traded the 110-210, my 110-210 for his 202-204. So he just took Katron Allen right here. He said, I want my running backs. He got 2 running backs out of his 4 picks right now. Hey, take your guys. Let's look at Jason's team real quick. He has Pollard, who could be kicked out by Singleton. Kyron Williams, Chase Brown is what he's holding. What holding his team together right now, his running back room together. Added Jadarian Price, obviously, and Katron Allen would be a good addition if he makes his way into the starting lineup. He has a pretty clear path. Has to knock off Bill, has to knock off. I don't even know who's there anymore. No, there's no Austin Eckler. C-Rod is gone. And who else left? Who's the other one there? C-Rod is gone. I'm remembering now that Rashad White is over there. So he can push up and be the workhorse, or the one in the 1-2 back with Rashad White. He could definitely knock Bill off. I'm thinking, I forget the other guy, but he has a pretty clear path. Definitely would take Katron Allen over Emmett Johnson off the top of my head. Sorry, so I was looking back at it. Quarterback, you could start pulling your quarterbacks here. You could take LR and Carson Beck are the guys who are going in the second round. I've seen it would take a dart throw there if you need quarterbacks or you're trying to do that. I should just set up my queue so it's a little easier. Running backs, I do have like Claiborne up here. I gotta look at a list of my guys. Wide receivers though, Jacoby Lane, definitely have him around Stribling. Probably would take Jacoby Lane over Stribling. Jeremy Bernard I would have over Stribling. So this is probably my next wide receiver would be Jeremy Bernard after Chris Bell, after Antonio Williams. Definitely would have felt like, I guess I could have put Jeremy Bernard in the Chris Bell and Antonio Williams type of tier. He'll be like a good wide receiver too as well, kind of like Antonio Williams is. Just Pittsburgh is hella super ugly right now. So yeah, so Jeremy Bernard I probably would have over him. Jacoby Lane, Ted Hurst. I do like Brazel and stuff. These guys have like higher ceilings or higher. They'll probably look better. Elijah Surratt. They'll probably look better quicker than Deshaun Stribling. But if Deshaun Stribling hits his peak, hits his ceiling, he should be better than all these guys. Better than because then he'd be a true wide receiver one, and hopefully they do him that way. So then he'd be better than Antonio Williams. I mean, unless Chris Bell hits his stuff, he'd probably be behind Chris Bell if they both hit their ceilings. Be better than Denzel Boston. Yeah, better than Omar Cooper Jr. Obviously, this is it's a hyperbole, because hitting their ceilings is crazy. Max Clare, I could see Max Clare going right here in one of these two picks. My running back though, I definitely Katron Allen was my next guy. So at the 109, I probably would have wide receivers Jeremy Bernard probably, and then 210 Jacoby Lane, Ted Hurst. I could see maybe Zachariah Branch if you want to push him up, or Katron Allen is what I would do. Obviously the quarterbacks, Joe LR and Carson Beck could have been taken there at one of these two picks, and my tight end, Max Clare. Max Clare could go right here. Feel like Max Clare is going to fall. He's just 5 tight end room right now. But, it takes 2-3 years to break out anyway, like we've been saying for these last two guys. Max Clare could definitely jump up there. Please tell me y'all are entertained. It is pretty fun looking at all these teams in my leagues and attempting to see their thought processes or, their perspectives. This definitely will make it easier to trade with them later on as well. You guys should try it out in your leagues too. Scratch that insatiable dynasty itch. I'll keep y'all posted on the 3rd and 4th rounds as well as soon as we get there, so stay tuned. And don't forget, your daily dose of send that trade. Send it. Send it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, rebuilds fade, dynasties reign. Call me a lover boy, simp, Libra. It's more than love sick, I got a fever. Feelings overloading, not to be a diva. Standing 10 toes down, I'm not gonna leave you.